This week on the Relax Mail, we're going to be talking about the most powerful question you could be asking in your life. And this can be used for both good and for bad. So how do you choose, and how do we make this question become one of the most powerful questions you can be asking on a daily or even hourly basis? We're talking about the question of what if on episode 143. This is the Relaxed Mail, a show that comes to you each week helping men to remove the nice guy from their life so they can actually live their life on their terms. Join the host, certified coach Brian Goodwin, as he helps men step out of their heads and become free from the thoughts that bind them. Hey man, hello and welcome to Relax Mail. All right, so this week, not much in the way of news or anything like that really happening. Just been plugging right along, and this episode's getting out just a little bit late, just because I just completely ran out of time, and we are coming up with new ways of being able to get around a large dog issue we have at the moment. She is, every time I sit down in the chair, it is her turn to decide, hey, it's time to start playing. And so last week was unproductive whatsoever. I got a couple of blogs posted, but didn't quite get the podcast. So I'm at least changing up to where the podcast is now the first thing that I'm going to get done. And then the blog and the video of the week and everything else that I get prepped up during the weekend is actually going to fall to the second level of priority. So anyhow, that's why this particular episode came out on Saturday instead of Thursday like they normally do. But nonetheless, wanted to talk today about, we're talking about the power of the what if question. What if? So, but before we do, I wanted to welcome all the new folks who have come in. We are still growing, still expanding, still becoming a movement of taking nice guys and showing them there's a better way to life, and that better way, it requires them to actually live life on their own terms. So new guys, new folks, new people who are here listening, welcome. I am your host, Brian. I'm a certified men's coach. I am a certified men's coach who helps men to start living their life on their terms. We get that nice guy, we kick him to the curb. I help you change the way you're thinking so that your life can start becoming the life that you've been wanting to live from the time you were a little boy. And that's what this podcast does. It helps men to start changing the way that they think, changing the way that they approach life, from being the passive or passive aggressive speaker to a man who talks with assertiveness and talks with authority. We use what's called the 4 pillars of a real man. And these 4 pillars are mind, body, soul, and community. And with these 4 pillars, they help you to become the better man that you need to be in your life, that your family needs you to be, that your community also needs you to be. And one of the ways that we actually do this big change is through the use of power questions. These questions are questions that don't hold you back. They aren't designed to hold you back. A lot of times we will ask questions like, why am I so dumb? Why am I so, why do I always step into this mess like that? And those questions are very limiting questions. They're designed by our mind to hold us back, to keep us playing small, because if we can play small, we don't have to get uncomfortable. And if we're sitting in the land of discomfort, it's really nice, but at the same time, we don't grow when we're being comfortable. But if we're in the land of discomfort, we're out of our comfort zone. We're just bogged deep in the swamp of misery. Then that's where we grow. It's a lot like exercising muscles. It's not pleasant. It hurts. The next day you've got your muscles are all sore and your joints are stiff and you barely move. You don't like that, but the results is that you look healthier. You look more fit. You get a little more, your muscles get just a little more toned. And you repeat that over and over and over. And eventually you look in the mirror and you go, wow, I've got guns. Yeah. So you want to make sure that you go into discomfort and you do the hard things time and time and time again, because that is where you grow as a man. That is where, just the same as that's where your body becomes more developed, becomes stronger by going to the gym, by doing, your calisthenics, keeping your heart rate going. These are needed for your mind too. Your mind is essentially a muscle also, and it's got to be exercised regularly by going into the land of discomfort. And one of the things that we do a lot of times is we use, like I said, these questions, these power questions. But one of the biggest ones we use, and it can be used for the good and the bad, is the question of what if? What if is just the start of whatever it is you're wanting to get to know about. And so they can be a very powerful question, like, what if you could be successful? What if you were to actually write that book? What if could also be used for the playing small side. What if they laugh at me? What if the boss just fires me instead of asking for that promotion? And so you have to understand what questions are powerful questions and which questions are actually very limiting questions. So how do you choose or figure out whether a question is very limiting or it's very damaging? Limiting questions, our brain is an amazing little device, because those limiting questions can seem really true, really authentic when they come up. They can seem like they're for your own protection. Like if you were wanting to, what if you asked your boss for a promotion? That, you could actually come up with the ideas that you wanted to, that would happen if you asked your boss for a promotion. He could say yes, he could say no. And a lot of times our brains will want to stay in that no side because, the more fear we're able to generate because of the no, the more likely we're going to stay right where we're at, where we know it's safe. We know the routine. We've got all the details down. We know, that the taco truck comes in the parking lot and honks its horn 3 times at 8:45. But if you get a promotion, you're not going to be able to just go running out there at 8:45 because it's 8:45. Y'all have got meetings. You see, that's why the bosses never come out and enjoy the taco truck with y'all. It may be the same issue that, you've got that routine down, and it's a really good routine. It's really nice. It's really fun, but routine is causes you to really stagnate. So yeah, you're going to stay in lower management, if that management at all, or you're just going to stay a laborer. You don't get the challenge of being able to grow. My daughter is experiencing this right now because she is just getting into junior management is kind of what is kind of the level that I would describe it. It's not even actual management. Well, it's a good solid taste of management. At the hotel that she works at, she is now a supervisor for the cleaning ladies, for housekeeping. And so she's gone from an inspector, from housekeeping up to an inspector, up to supervisor. And she's all of a sudden hit with all these other responsibilities that she has to have, because she is right there in the junior management. To give you a good taste of, what junior management or what management is. And we were having a really deep discussion about this, because she almost was like, I really would just rather be an inspector. She's like, well, you can. You could be an inspector if you want, but you're going to lose the amount of pay. And you've already stated what you really wanted was to go ahead and climb that ladder and see how high you can get to be, regional manager, for Hilton Hotels. And to be able to do that is you got to go through a lot more headaches and pains and things like that than what you're doing than what you even are in right now to be able to get to those, like the regional manager or someone higher, where you start to get into, you start having to go to a corporate building from time to time. And she knows what she wants, but at the same time, she's just gotten into this position. And so she's really having to struggle with this mountain of what she calls a mountain of paperwork falling on her head. Cause you've got all these reports, and you got the inventories, and you got this report, and your TPS report, and your that report, and those reports, and a lot of different reports that she has to actually do, and forms, and got to fill this form out properly, and triplicate type of things. And she wouldn't have been there in this amount of time if she hadn't have actually asked herself, what if I was to become, the regional manager? So she's getting the experience of the discomfort. And that's, I think, a lot of us guys, the problem we have with getting ourselves up into better areas is that we sense a little bit of discomfort. We got to change up. It's a lot more work than I want to do. It's easier to be a lowly laborer and bitch about management than to actually get up into management. You may even realize how much management actually gets to do, because there's a reason why they get paid more money, and it's not because they get to sit longer. When you go to using the what if question, what if this, what if that, what if, whatever, what if anything, these, like I said, these can be powerful, powerful questions. They can be questions that can propel you into the future. They can give you the mental focus, or the future focus that you want to have. They can also put you right back into your comfort zone. Now, to kind of express the point, let's look at a set of different questions that you could ask, and a couple set of questions and how these can actually be turned both good and into bad. First one, what if I could be successful? Well, you can actually, that's a great question of what if. Let's get you moving into the forward, future focus a lot faster and a lot more. It gives you the focus that you actually want. Hence the reason why it's called future focus. What if you could take that dream vacation? What would you do? You don't just ask that one question. You follow it up with the other questions of what, why, how. You ask those other questions along with it when you're sitting down trying to come up with a good self-coaching method. What if you did have that house on the hill? And hopefully it's not. Screw it. We're just going to power on. We have there is a blonde stray cat that is living outside of our house somewhere, and has decided that, thanks to the size of a Great Dane sized door, that it's fairly easy to get inside of a house. And following the inside of the house, they have figured out how to actually found the cat food bowl, and are enjoying their our cat's food, quite nicely. And so I think Rain sees the movement from her getting into the house. And so Rain ends up scaring the cat out. But at the same time, I don't know. And I don't know why our two guard cats haven't, kept her from from entering, yet. So anyhow, the joy of the Goodwin household. But so on back to the topic. What if you were to ask yourself the good questions? Not like, what if you did own that house on the hill that you like? What if you did ask the girl to date you? What would happen? What if she did agree? What if your wife did decide to stay when you talked to her? What if you showed your wife the attention that she requested? What would happen? There's a lot of what ifs in there, but you could also use those questions for, what if this is the wrong thing to do? What if you ruined the marriage instead of improving it? What if your boss fired you? What if you tried that new strategy and it didn't work? What if you did fail in your task? And if you look at the energy level of those questions, those really are much lower energy questions. Now, you can actually take those and turn them around into very positive. They may give you the power to take a risk at work. So maybe you may have to do something that might go against the rules a little bit, but if it does pay off, it's going to become you'll change the culture of the company, and it would become a good thing. But yet there's a risk of being fired. So what if you did get fired? You can use the what if as a very powerful question, or ask it the exact same words in a slightly different tone, and it becomes a very negative question. It's one that'll hold you back. What if you did get fired? Well, I would go and find another job. Might be able to actually get away from, the regional manager who appears to just absolutely not like me. That manager has stated in no terms of fashion will he ever see me get up to higher than the level I'm at. Things that seem bad a lot of times in our lives are nowhere near as bad as we want to make them out to be. What if you got fired? What if you lost everything? What if you were homeless? Well, those are they invoke a lot of fear in your mind. It's like, oh crud, I wouldn't know what to do. My wife would leave me, and my kids would hate me because they didn't have their rooms anymore. We come up with all these stories as to what would happen if we did lose our home. Would we live in a cardboard box under the bridge? Well, what if you did? What are you making that mean to you? That's the big question. What do you want? What are you making that mean? Because maybe you're making that mean to be that you're a failure. Are you really a failure, or did you just fail at one thing and it had a drastic repercussion that you ended up losing your house? But yet you could take everything that you know right now that got you to the level you are and very quickly get back up to that level. What if your wife did leave? There's some of us who would be like, well, dude, I'd be having parties all the time. Well, honestly, I know for a fact you wouldn't be having parties all the time because you would, a lot of times we're at work. And so we would be at work, come home, eat supper, and go to bed. So to think that you would have a party all the time is nice to think, but at the same time, we know that it wouldn't be all sunshine and lollipops and great and wonderful days. Yes, we're going to power through. So you can ask that what if question, that magic question that opens up worlds of possibilities. They open up those, it causes your brain to really want to start thinking. Now you can quickly turn that off because a lot of people go, I'm not going to ask what if, or what if, and they'll just, it's what if this is really stupid? Well, okay. What if it is? Again, the question from there is, what do you make it mean? If you make it mean that it's asking yourself the chance and giving yourself the chance to actually dream is dumb, stupid, and puerile, then yeah, you're going to see it as dumb, stupid, and puerile, and you're not going to do it. Yet if you see it as a very powerful, very powerful tool to get you to the next level, then you definitely would want to do it more often. Doing stuff that gets you out of your comfort zone can be something along the lines of just asking yourself a powerful question like, what if? What if you failed at your task? What if something you didn't want to happen happened? That can be, if you ask that in one prism, yeah, you're going to end up being held back. But you can also take that very same question and ask it in a means of looking to the future and being proactive. And you're going to find that what if you fail at that task? You're going to find out, oh, well, I didn't get that task didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. And all right, so what? Yeah, the boss is mad at me. He yelled at me for a little while. He grumbled. He threatened me with my job, but I know he's not about to fire me because he's been threatening me with my job for the past 10 years. He's not going to fire me. But if he does, okay, whatever. I go find another job. There's a lot of open positions available in society these days. Yeah, this question is about visualizing, because when you start asking the what if, and you start asking it in a future tense and putting it into a future focused line of thinking, you're going to allow your mind to actually start working in the way that it's meant to work. It's meant to look up into the future and start playing with the idea of what if. It's supposed to look into the future and start looking at, all the possibilities that are out there. That's one reason why us as kids, we dream so much. And then as adults, we stop dreaming as much because we're told by people who think they know enough, that it's not productive. I'm watching, Ms. Marvel over on Disney Plus, and it really does kind of show the power of the imagination, power of what if. What if? I mean, heck, Marvel even has a television series of what if. What if of course they take it to kind of absurd angles, but it does kind of prove a point. You got what if the Avengers were zombies, and what if something else happened, and what if Doctor Strange went to the dark side. All these other different scenarios that they like to play with, and that's because they ask the question "what if," and they start messing around and playing with these different scenarios, and these scenarios allow your mind to really expand. You can ask yourself, what if, even if you are a 42-year-old man. A 50-year-old man is allowed to dream. A 60-year-old man can make drastic changes in his life to make it to where he's living his life on purpose. 70 and 80-year-old men, they can do the exact same thing. So just because you're 20 or 30 years old, or have passed those, doesn't mean that you're too old to dream. Doesn't mean that you're too old to even try, because 20-year-olds are just now figuring out, oh, wait a minute, I've got a little bit of power under my belt because I've been told no my whole time so far in my life, that I've got to figure out what I can or can't do. And so they start exercising their will a lot more, and exercising it in a means that it is productive instead of just going against what everybody else told them. So asking yourself what if is a great question. Keep asking the what if. What if this? What if that? What if you were to become successful? What if you did actually start that podcast? What if you did actually take the time to try something a little different? What would actually happen? So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to let you go. If you found anything in this episode that resonated with you and kind of sparked your mind into thinking, and you really got around to actually, what if you were to actually pursue your dreams? Look into the future and you tell yourself what it is you see. Look into that future and try. So with closing, I want to say dream big. Allow yourself to expand your wishes, your thoughts, your possibilities. If you need help with that, you can actually get a hold of me over at relaxedmale.com/coaching. And you set up a consult call, and we sit down, we can have a discussion and see how we can work with each other. So in closing here, guys, if there's anything in this that you actually found useful, found powerful, go ahead and share this out. Share this out with other guys in your groups. Share it out with the older guy who talks about wishing he had done more in the past. Or share it to the young guy who you really hope he does he's still not afraid to dream. And so he's starting to think that dreaming isn't quite as what it's cut out to be. Encourage him to ask that what if question. Share this out with your friends, your family. Share this podcast out with all these guys, the ones who, are struggling and wishing that they had more opportunities. If you found that you think of somebody in particular who this particular episode would really sing to, share that to them. Share it with them. Show them that, hey, that you can ask the question, what if, and you can allow yourself to actually dream, because it does do wonders for what you're capable of doing. So guys, with that, I want to go ahead and thank you again for listening. We will talk to you next week, because I'm fixing to do the next show. So guys, thanks again for listening to episode 143. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, you can shoot me a message over at Brian with a Y at relaxedmale.com, and I will talk to you all then. All right. Till next week. Bye.